Laws of Human Nature. Chapter 1. Master your emotional self. The law of irrationality. As a species and as individuals, we imagine ourselves in control of our fate, but we remain largely unaware of how much our emotions dominate us behind the scenes. We are irrational by nature, with thousands of examples throughout history of people losing everything they've worked for due to their irrationality. Countering our emotions does not come naturally. It must be cultivated through deliberate practice. Our first step to becoming rational is to understand our fundamental irrationality. Acquiring rationality is not complicated. It simply requires knowing and working through a three-step process. Be aware of what we call low-grade irrationality. Understand the nature of high-grade irrationality. And we need to enact certain strategies and exercises that will strengthen the thinking part of the brain and give it more power over our emotions. Here are 3 exercises that will help make you more rational. Step 1. Recognize the biases. Cognitive biases are systematic patterns of deviation from our norm or rationality and judgment. Emotions are constantly affecting our decisions beyond the surface of consciousness. Look up the biases and find out how they are affecting ourselves and those around us. A few biases we fall into are confirmation bias, conviction bias, appearance bias, group bias, blame bias, and superiority bias. Rationality and ethical qualities must be achieved through awareness and effort. They do not come naturally. Step 2. Beware the inflaming factors. High-grade emotions come at certain moments, reach an explosive pitch, and are generally sparked by something external. High-grade emotion usually culminates in some rash action with disastrous consequences. Common causes for high-grade emotions include trigger points from early childhood, sudden gains or losses, group effect, rising pressures, and inflaming individuals, people who evoke a strong reaction out of everyone they meet, whether good or bad. It's best to be aware of these factors so we do not fall victim to our actions, and so we can recognize these emotions in others, either get out of their way or help bring them back to reality. Step 3. Strategies towards bringing out the rational self. Rational types throughout history share certain qualities with each other. A realistic appraisal of themselves and their weaknesses, a devotion to truth and reality, a tolerant attitude towards people, and the ability to reach goals that they've set. Here are a few strategies to harness our rationality and develop it further. 1. Know yourself thoroughly. Look inward at yourself and learn how the irrational operates within you. Catch your emotional self in action. 2. Examine your emotions to their roots. Don't make emotional decisions. When something comes up that requires your response, take a step back, as long as possible. Perspective comes with time. 3. Accept people as facts. We always project onto others, wishing they were something that they're not. Understand that people come in all types, and make understanding them a fun game. 4. Find the optimal balance of thinking and emotion. Thinking and emotion are intertwined. They cannot be separated. Don't be too emotional with your actions that you make rash decisions, but don't be too rational in your thinking that you lose creativity either. 5. Love the rational. Don't think of the path to rationality as something painful and ascetic. It brings powers that are deeply satisfying and pleasurable. Knowing all of this, it will become easier to be motivated to pursue this path. Rationality is something to be acquired by individuals, not by mass movements or technological progress. Feeling superior and beyond it is a sure sign that the irrational is at work. This is part 1 of our series on Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Check out part 2 now.